a sun, the fields are alive. Cheering crowds and the teams collide. In these moments, we stand tall and free. First pride runs deep in me. With every touchdown, we rise and we cheer. Unity and spirit, the heart of the year. Raging voices, let's make it loud. In Florida's high schools, we're so damn proud. From the bleachers to the end zone to go, football and cheers make our spirits roll. Girls in the game, they're fierce and bright. Flag in hand, they give it their might. From every town they bring their dreams. On this field of gold, nothing's as it seems. Together we shine, together we play. In Florida's heart, we own this day. Raise your voices, let's make it loud. In Florida's high schools, we're so damn proud. From the bleachers to the end zones go, football and cheers make our spirits grow. So here's to the game, we'll rise and stand. In Florida's field, real night band.
All right, welcome to the Tampa Bay edition of the Blitz here as we come to you live for the final show of the night here. And it's not Tuesday, August 19th. I meant to switch that, and I'm going to do that as we come live here. It is August 26th, by the way. Don't think the calendar's flipped back on y'all, okay? I promise. That is not the deal here. And
well, we can go back in the future if you want to.
I mean, I'm not Marty McFly or anything like that. I mean, come on now.
Well, we need Doc Brown too, so.
I mean, I don't even have a McLaren, so. Anyways, welcome to the Tampa Bay edition of the Blitz here. Josh Wilson, Florida, and Christopher Like here. And wow. Hard to believe that we're already here. Week number 2 here. And boy, Chris, what are you thinking so far after our shows here and just everything that we've gone through? Because, again, a lot has happened here. And it was a turbulent week in week 1, especially with some teams here in the Tampa Bay area causing some turbulence for us.
Oh, yeah, a lot of drama. I mean, what else can you say?
If you wanted drama, Tampa Bay was probably where you could find it at. One of the places you could find it at, I should say, here. Back to the future, Mark Cannon says. All right. Well, with that said here, we're going to get into it here with the Blitz Lines and kind of go back and look at everything. And Emery Smith starts it off with, you know what? Thank you, Emery, because that is exactly where we're going with. We're headed to. We're going to talk about that Lakeland-Auburndale game because I'm really, gosh, Chris, I could say this. Lakeland was predicted to win big in this game. They had that big lead, 24-0 at halftime, but only ended up winning 31-21. And they pulled the starters before getting a running clock and played sloppy and made a bunch of mistakes throughout the game, is what Emery says. And I mean, goodness gracious, I just, gosh, you know, I say this, I'm shaking my head here because. Where do you instill the confidence in these guys, especially with a big trip to California on the docket this week?
That doesn't bode well, you know. And De La Salle's no slouch to be messed with Lakeland. So
No, and you're right, and it really, it's at the end of the day, it's I'm just really, really like, what in the heck is going on here? So again, messing with De La Salle here along the way. I mean, this is not you're if I got anything, Mark Cannon. Oh, Mark Cannon wants me to play this sound. He says cancel the Cali trip. Ooh, man, Mark Cannon is not holding back the punches tonight here, Chris.
Well, maybe Lakeland needs to go to Quaker State Blue.
Oh, we're full of jokes tonight here on our shows here on the Blitz here, Chris. I think, anyways, the point really is that Lakeland. I mean, this is the way you come out. This is the way you come out of the gate here. The start after. I mean, you're coming off. Your first official game that matters. Yeah. Out of the gate here after getting blown out in the 5A state championship game last year. I mean, and this, you got a trip to De La Salle in week 2. I mean, I get it. The history is there where, you've beaten De La Salle before years ago, but I think want to say go back. I think 2009 was the last time that these two played each other, and Lakeland managed to get a win out of that. But, head coach is not Bill Castle. You don't have all those players sitting there like that, that were part of that team. So you really need your guys to be building some confidence here, and building that confidence would have maybe potentially, hey, if you really wanted to put the second and third string guys in and give the guys a rest, I would have gotten that running clock instead of trying to lean on the second and third strings to hold the game. I mean, you asked them to go hold the game, and
I mean, give credit to Auburndale for
give credit
realizing the situation.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, get credit to them for hanging tough there towards for the rest of that game. And when they saw an opportunity, they pounced on it and they took a chance, and it almost paid massive dividends for them.
Oh yeah, and you can't go wrong with Auburndale learning to grow in this game. I mean.
No, absolutely, Chris. And I got to say, it really, at the end of the day, I think, it really boils down to, at the end of the day for this, it's just, there's really a lot there for Lakeland to really learn from. And I just really, and as everybody said, Lakeland, they have got to get their act together, because this De La Salle is just, it's a much tougher opponent. And the computer algorithm is forecasting one thing. I'm not in a full agreement with it. I think y'all kind of probably know what's going on. See, the forecasted line is already out anyway, so y'all can see it on justfootball.com. I just don't agree with it. I just don't fully agree with it. But anyways, let's roll along here. Bartram Trail at Sumner. Sumner rolls. Bartram Trail gets a win there. How about Plant? Coming back on Wiregrass Ranch. Wiregrass Ranch held a lead for a good majority of that game, but Platt, they put it when they needed it most and won that game by a touchdown.
And credit to Wiregrass Ranch. They coming off momentum from last season, and rightfully so. And Plant is a perfect opportunity for them to keep building and growing and progressing into this season.
No, absolutely. And, Chris, I mean, when you think about it, I mean, these two teams they got a big chance of both making deep playoff runs.
Oh, yeah. And we were talking about Wiregrass Ranch the other day. The Wiregrass Ranch, they are a team that if you sleep on them, they're going to really punch you right in the mouth.
No, absolutely, and I agree with you there that they will punch it in the mouth here, and it's definitely one of those things where we gotta watch what Mark Cantor's group does, and then also what Hank Brown's group does at Plant. I mean, both teams again, they just are really impressive football teams. Two of probably the better football teams that are in the entire Tampa Bay region here for our Blitz show, and then of course, looking at the rest of the games here, Colorado Central Catholic at Berkeley Prep. That was a 1-point game, 21-20, Colorado Central Catholic. But when we talked to Dan Krause last week, he said it, Chris. The forecast was very wide. It was a 23-point forecast. But at the end of the day, we know what Dan Krause said, that it was going to be a much closer game, and I always felt it was going to be a much closer game because Dom Sayo knows how to put on coaching clinics, and he about did one again here Friday night against Clearwater Central Catholic.
Yeah, Yeah, it showed what we knew what we were talking about, and Berkeley Prep, they're just as good as Clearwater Central Catholic and Tampa Bay Tech and those other teams out in Tampa Bay. Two of the best programs in the entire region, right there.
No, absolutely. And looking at the rest of our slate as we go back and recap everything that we have got here, Bishop Barreau at Jesuit. Jesuit, how about them? Bishop Barreau up 14-0, and Jesuit storms back and wins big. I mean, gotta give the credit to the Tigers. I mean, especially Will Griffin. I mean, holy cow, good night.
Yeah, and speaking of Will Griffin, congratulations to him. He passes Tim Tebow on the all-time state passing list and gets to 10,000 passing yards on the state. So a big helmet sticker to him.
Round of applause there for Will Griffin, everybody. A big round of applause there for him, because obviously that is huge right there in terms of surpassing something that hasn't been touched in almost 2 decades, Chris.
Oh yeah, and you're gonna see over the next few years, you're gonna see some of these quarterbacks reach those marks faster and faster.
Yeah, and absolutely, and but when we talk about quarterbacks, I mean, that it's really impressive, but considering that everybody's like quarterback, these records are going to be touched, but you know what? I'm going to bring it up. What's one record that has not been touched since the 2012 season? That's that's the national rushing record.
Yeah, now you and I remember that very well.
Oh yeah, I remember that one very well, and I remember tracking that one between.
The funny thing was, they would write the year after the Jonathan Gray and Alito in Texas had set the national record, and then the next year, I think, there we go.
Yeah,
it was off to the races.
No, absolutely, and it really is one of those things. And of course, it's just one of those things where you haven't talked to, we haven't heard about it. But I will say this, because it's good to see Will Griffin, and I don't want to take anything away from Will Griffin getting that record, because I know it's not just a state record, but it'll probably end up somewhere in the national record books as well with the NFHS. But when it comes to other records in the state. A lot of people don't realize this. When Derrick Henry may have gotten the national rushing record, but who owns the state rushing record? That's Kelvin Taylor. Because Kelvin Taylor's 8th grade stats got the count.
Like I said, Will Griffin, he's 10th on the all-time list for state passing records. So he's still got a lot of ways to go, but he can be passing some big names pretty quickly.
And we'll be dropping those big names as we see this happen here during the 2025 season here as we roll along. And of course, Venice at Tampa Bay Tech. We're going to have Coach Jayson Roberts on here in a moment here, and to talk about that big win. Oh my! I gotta give a big helmet sticker to Tampa Bay Tech. That was huge. I told Coach on a text message that I would be eating crow, and well, here we are. But I had to bring him on tonight, because I felt like that this was the most proper thing to do after having the FPRI spit out a prediction of 26 with Venice winning that game. No, it was not. So, but wow, holy cow. Wow. Any thoughts here as we wrap up the Blitz Lines, Cliff, and get Coach Roberts on?
It's been a fun weekend. We still got a lot to learn about the Tampa Bay region this year.
No, absolutely.
And Venice is one of them.
No, it is at Venice, and then of course Tampa Bay Tech. We've learned a lot about Tampa Bay Tech. By the way, you can go on the FortHSFootball.com, look at the latest FPRI rankings. Guess who became the number 1 team in Class 5A this week? Tampa Bay Tech.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay Tech, number 1 now in Class 5A. And we'll be right back right after this here on the Tampa Bay edition of the Blitz, and then we'll have head coach Jayson Roberts on here to talk about Tech's big win over Venice.
Box Out gives you the ability to create graphics at the speed of sports to highlight your athletic department, teams, and student athletes in seconds. Used and trusted by Notre Dame, Ohio State, UConn, Marquette, Georgetown, and many more of the top college brands in the country. If you want your school's brand to stand out through all the clutter, start your free demo at boxoutsports.com.
And he's in the end zone for the touchdown. Touchdown.
Juggled and caught.
I've been thinking about this for a long time. I thought if that's out there, I want to make sure I see it and I get involved in it, because to me, this was music to my ears. I was blown away. When you look at today's kid, the millennium kid, they learn by being able to see it. If I can see it, it's a great chance that I can do it. The First Down Playbook is a tool that can essentially change the way we teach the game.
All right, welcome back here to the Tampa Bay edition of the Blitz here on 4HSFootball.com and the 4HSFootball.com social media platforms. And I'm excited about this interview tonight here to wrap it up for our night number one of our 2 nights that we do our Blitz shows here on 4HS Football. And that is the head coach of the Tampa Bay Tech Titans, now the number 1 team in our Class 5A rankings in the Florida Power Rankings Index. Tampa Bay Tech, a big, huge win on Friday night against Venice. Coach, I told you, I said I need some crow. Yeah. I'm eating my crow now on this one, but man, congratulations on the win. That was a statement win. Talk about the team preparing for this game, because I know y'all looked at it. It was a barn burner last year. It was one of those back and forth games last year. This year, whole different mentality. It was lights out from the go. You know, I mean, stifling Venice's offense and taking their defense out along with it. Just talk about getting the team ready for this, and how did the players respond in getting, you know, when it started realizing that y'all were going to win this game?
It really started with our preparation, to be honest. I'd be lying if I didn't say that this was a game that we didn't have circled on the calendar. Up until last Friday, we were 0-4 versus Venice. Last year we went over there and we put up a lot of points, but they put up a lot more points. And it was something that even though we had a great season last year, it's still kind of as a coaching staff in the program, it really stuck with us how that one team was able to dominate us, and it was something that we made an off-season goal, was to match their physicality, to match their level of conditioning, because they play so fast, they play so physical, and we really just trained for it all off-season, and kind of made that part of the benchmark that we were shooting for, so that when it became game week and time to prepare to play those guys, our kids knew what the expectations were. They knew that we were expecting physicality. We were expecting them to play fast. We were expecting them to play discipline, because it was going to take all that to be able to win against a great program like them.
No, absolutely. And, when looking at that, I mean, y'all, I think the springboard for y'all kind of was set last week when y'all went to Apopka and just went and just totally decimated, the Blue Darters. So, I mean, would you say that's the case? That kind of springboard for the launch of that may have been that, they got excited because they saw, like, okay, if we can do this again here at Apopka, we're going to be doing this against anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think with the kickoff classics, it's always really for us it's the litmus test, because you see stuff during fall camp and the off season, but you're going against yourself. You really don't know, and you really don't get to gauge how good you actually are until you play quality opponents. So being able to go to a Popka and for us to perform the way that we did, really kind of just gave us confirmation that, the guys we have are the guys that we thought they were. It did give us a boost of morale and confidence going into the week, facing Venice, feeling like, we can run the ball on anybody. Our offensive line, the way they play and as big as they are, and the plethora of running backs that we have, we feel like we can control the ball, we can control the game, control the clock, and impose our will on anybody.
No, absolutely.
Coach, you took the word right out of my mouth. I was just alluding to the running game. Jabari Barnett, he had 161 yards in that game. You had 300 total rushing yards against Venice, which is a huge statement. Talk about the preparation with the running game and the front line and building up to this game, and talk about Jabari Barnett's performance in that game.
To me, offensively, everything starts with our offensive coordinator, Anthony Palmer. He does by far, in my opinion, the best job in the state of Florida at preparing a game plan and each week coming in with our plan of attack. He came in, last Monday with the game plan of how we were going to attack their front, who we were going to double team, who we weren't, who we were going to run at, and why. And the kids worked the game plan to perfection. And then, when you got certain guys like Javari, we refer to players like him as erasers. That even when the blocking isn't perfect, he's going to erase that mistake because of his God-given talent, his vision, his burst, and just size to be able to move like that at 200 plus pounds. Really makes it difficult on the defense, especially when we're able to, get them 15, 16 carries.
No, absolutely. And I mean, I'm just looking at the box score here and I'm just saying, everything, but at the end of the day, the defense also contributed big in this. I mean, 2 sacks there, 2 interceptions. I mean, y'all deflected 5 passes. Y'all even had a fumble recovery. I mean, just talk about what the defense, because, again, there's no I in team. It takes a team effort to win these games, and defense did their part too.
Oh yeah. I mean, to me, like I told the kids at the end of the game, the thing that I was most impressed and most pleased about, it was a total performance in all aspects of the game. Offense came and dominated the clock, and we imposed our will. Defensively, we were able to stifle them. We were able to, really hold their running game to a minimum, put them in a lot of third and longs. We knew they were breaking in a new quarterback. So, putting them in those third and not comfortable situations, having to throw the ball, especially against a veteran secondary like ours, we was able to force those turnovers. I think the thing that put us over the top was the kicking game, something that hasn't always been to the level it was Friday night for us. Having seven touchbacks on kickoffs. 3 made field goals. It changes everything from a play calling standpoint. Once you get inside the 30 and know that you can get 3 and you don't have to, take shot plays and you don't have to get in the end zone every trip.
No, I got to point out Jacob Trammell, as you said, the 7 touchbacks. I mean, 7 kickoffs for 420 yards. I mean, that's pretty impressive for a kicker. I mean, what makes Trammell special?
Man, big time leg, and the way he works, the way his dad, who coaches him outside of here, works with him and puts in time into his craft. And the kid he cares about it. He loves it. All he does is kick. He doesn't play any other position. And he was excited to have an opportunity to show off his leg. I mean, but he's been that for us. Dating back to his freshman year, he hit a game-winning 40-yard field goal as a 9th grader. Last year, didn't get as many opportunities to kick field goals, and took it as an opportunity for him to work on his kickoffs. And I mean, we see, so far he's been perfect on kickoffs, putting them in the end zone.
Oh wow, that is just impressive. Chris, I think you got a question there.
Yeah, you're looking ahead of your schedule. You got Onward and Plant coming up in the next 2 out of the next 3 weeks. Talk about preparing for those teams and the landscape of Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I mean, we know that those are going to be huge games. But we told our guys yesterday, Monday, when we started the week, that this week coming up, coming into playing Wharton this Friday was probably going to be the most important week of the season in my mind for us, because it's going to give us an opportunity to reveal how we handle success. Are we gonna attack the work week the same way we did the week before, because it's not somebody who we had circled on our calendar, and kind of challenge those guys to not fall for the proverbial trap game and get lulled to sleep because you're not giving your opponent the proper respect that they're due. So right now we've been just completely all about Wharton. We tell the kids that right now they're the best team on our schedule because they're the only team on our schedule. When we get to Armwood, when we get to Plant, it'll be the same way. But of course, the outside, the community, social media is already kind of buzzing about next week in the Armwood game and the following games, and it's as coaches, it's kind of tough to not peek ahead and to be disciplined and not take an early quick peek and see what they have going on. And I won't lie, I've peeked, and we're gonna face 2 quality ball teams when we have to play them. It's always a rivalry. It's always a war when we play Armwood. The last several games have all come down to the very end.
No, absolutely. And Coach, I got a question here from in the fan chat from Mark Canna. He says, with Tech alum Michael Penix starting quarterback for the Falcons, a guy that you coached and know very well, will you be pulling for the Bucs or the Falcons when they play? Considering that is an AFC South, NFC South rivalry. Excuse me, because I say AFC South because I'm a Jaguars, but NFC South rivalry between the Falcons and the Bucs.
So that's a tough one, man. I honestly, I like the Bucs, but you love your kids. I love my kids. I want to see them. I want to see them win I want to see them go 16-0 and win the Super Bowl. So I'll be rooting for him, and then I'll root for the Bucs to win. The other 16 games since 15 since they'll play Atlanta again. So.
Yeah.
Hopefully they go 15-2 and the only 2 they lose are to the Falcons.
But just really quick, so, the fact that Penix is now the starting quarterback of Falcons. I mean, how does that make you feel as a coach when you see that a guy that you coached, he's now sitting there about to be a starting quarterback for one of the 32 NFL teams?
I mean, on top of just pride and excitement and joy for him. Honestly, as coaches, because a lot of my staff we've been together for a long time. Most of them were here when Mike was here. And honestly, for us, it kind of serves as kind of just a confirmation that we were seeing what we thought we were seeing. Like when he was at Tech, we were like, man, this kid's special. He
was a baller.
Seen anything like this ever. And I was kind of scratching my head why more programs weren't all over him coming out of high school, and then when he had the success in college, I was excited but not surprised, and to be honest, seeing him do well with the Falcons and do well in the NFL, I'm excited but I'm not shocked because we always felt like he had otherworldly talent. When we had the opportunity to coach him and be with him.
No, absolutely. Well, Coach, definitely appreciate you taking some time to come talk to us about the big win and what the remaining looks for Tampa Bay Tech for the season. And good to see you again. I know it's only been a little. It's probably been about a month and a half since I saw you at Media Day. But
I saw you Media Day. Yeah.
But appreciate you, man. And we'll hear. We'll talk to you more as the season progresses.
Sounds good, man. I appreciate the opportunity.
All right, thank you so much. That was head coach Jayson Roberts from the Tampa Bay Tech Titans joining us here on the Tampa Bay edition of the Blitz here on FloorHSFootball.com. I mean, that is one proud coach, not just because of his team, what they did tonight, but a proud coach of his players. That you got a guy that's going to be the starting quarterback come opening weekend for the NFL, and not this weekend, but the next weekend.
Yeah, and you got to love the future of what Tampa Bay Tech has got this season, knowing what we already know about that team.
Oh, absolutely. All right, we got to take a quick break here. And by the way, college football really gets going this weekend. I forget, the Gators are hosting a game here this weekend. So I think it's a night game. Mm-hmm. Anyways, we're going to be back here in about under 2 minutes here on the Tampa Bay edition of the Blitz here on FloorHSFootball.com.
High school sports fans, follow your team live with a free ScoreStream mobile app. Download ScoreStream to get real-time scores, photos, and awesome video. Plus, follow your favorite teams and friends. Get real-time high school sports from ScoreStream.
Box Out gives you the ability to create graphics at the speed of sports to highlight your athletic department, teams, and student athletes in seconds. Used and trusted by Notre Dame, Ohio State, UConn, Marquette, Georgetown, and many more of the top college brands in the country. If you want your school's brand to stand out through all the clutter, start your free demo at boxoutsports.com.
Juggled and caught.
All right, welcome back here to the Blitz here on FloorHSFootball.com. Joshua Wilson here, along with Christopher Like, who has got the cat in his hand. The cat has decided to join the show, so. All right, as we roll along here, all right, we do have some fan questions, comments coming in. Pan on the Blitz tomorrow night. Northeast Florida Blitz tomorrow night. As we get everybody back here on the show here. And Charles Bell, good to see you. Good evening to you here on the show. I see Andrew Phillip Linden, the Tech versus Armwood game could be one of the best high school games of the season as far as the kicker positions, because they're Jacob Trammell and Ryan Linden are two of the very talented young kickers with massive legs. Ooh, I like a good kickers duel. Kickers, they often get forgotten about, because, it's special teams. But you know what? There's three phases to football, Chris. Oh, I can't hear you, Chris. Microphone.
Oh, yeah. The three phases to football, there can also be a fourth one with the coaching.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Coaching as well. And, of course, between Coach Jayson Roberts and Coach Eric Davis at Armwood, you would think Evan Davis. Yeah, that'll be really good football, to say the least, here. And Emery Smith says, go Gators, beat Long Island. Yes, they are hosting Long Island. By the way, this was supposed to be the weekend that they were supposed to go to UCF this weekend. This was originally the game that this was supposed to be that road game for Florida to go to UCF. And when UCF went to the Big 12, that game came off the schedule. So, but here we are. And yes, getting to you, Jonathan Ferris. Great to see you here. Good to see you checking in here, and appreciate everybody. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that notification bell on YouTube at Florida HS Football. And you know what? I think I know what time it is. It's time for the Pick Six as we roll along here on this Tuesday evening. We have 6 games on the docket for this week, Chris. And boy, as I mentioned earlier, we talked about it. I should start. I'm going to create a graphic going forward. Hopefully I can get this done. I'll create a graphic and we'll have it each week. But it'll have our records for our shows. We'll do one for each show with our overall. But Tampa Bay, you and me were 3-3 last week. Reno was 2-4. By the way, in South Florida, we won't even touch that one. That's more. We won't even touch that one. But right now we're
double close to that one.
Yeah, you're 8-4 in the Tampa Bay Blitz. I'm 7-5, and Reno's 7-5 on our picks here so far early in the season. So let's roll into our picks here real quick here as we finish up the night here. Tarpon Springs at Palm Harbor University, Chris. Battle of the Spongers and the Hurricanes.
You know, this is a fun matchup. I like Tarpon Springs. They're a much better program. But I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think.
Palm Harbor, they've had their ups and downs. Tarpon Springs has its ups and downs, but Jeremy Freud has had Tarpon Springs on the up and up here in the last couple of years, and Mark Cannon's going Spongers as well. I'm going with Spongers as well, and Reno is taking the Spongers as well on this one. All right. Our game number 2 is River Ridge at Steinbrenner, and this one I think Jonathan Harris is taking Palm Harbor, and Emory is taking Tarpon Springs. This game, I think this game is going to be close. The forecast is calling for 7. I think it might be a little closer. Steinbrenner, head coach Gregory Puskas Jr., he's in his first year as head coach of football, but he is no stranger to football, been assistant coach a long time for that team. Also the girls flag football head coach, so he knows a lot of football ins and outs all year round. Gosh, this one's tough, but I want to go River Ridge, but Steinbrenner, they have a great atmosphere. They have a great student section, Chris, and I'm torn on this one. Where are you thinking here?
This one will go down to the last drive, I think. I love River Ridge, but give me Steinbrenner for the upset.
Yeah, I'm doing Steinbrenner as well. Reno is going River Ridge here. As you see the predictions here, the win probabilities about River Ridge is 73% chance of winning the game. Steinbrenner 27%. All right, rolling along here. Oh, hi, Emory. We have Frostproof at Hardy. I think this is a Chris Like special on this pick for this game. But Frostproof at Hardy. Hardy has got some struggles here. Frostproof, the top team right now in the SSA Atlantic League. This is the SSA Atlantic Showdown for the South Division. Frostproof 31 over Hardy. Frostproof a 99% chance of winning this game. Hardy 1% chance. Hardy's got a lot of work to do in my opinion here, Chris.
Yeah, Hardy, they're going to be struggling mightily for the next few weeks. Frostproof is a much better program. Give me Frostproof.
And as Reno said in the thing, he said Frostproof. Sorry, Hardy. So sorry, Emory. Not this week. He said, Emory says we have turned over the ball a half dozen times against Fort Meade last week. Oof. Oof. All right, game number 4. Tampa Catholic at St. Pete Catholic. Ooh, boy, the battle of the Catholics here with the Crusaders and the Barons. And Barons pulling off a 50-plus point win at East River last week. Tampa Catholic coming up short, 1 point short against Trinity Catholic, 7-6. Whew, I mean, Mark Cannon is going for the fight, and Emory Williams-Smith for the win. That one. But, Chris, what are you thinking here with Tampa Catholic and St. Pete Catholic? I mean, St. Pete Catholic, Jesse Chinchar, he's quickly building something there at St. Pete Catholic after many years of what he did at Clearwater Academy International.
Yeah. Tampa Catholic, no slouch, but St. Pete, they've been a program on the rise the last couple of years. I like St. Petersburg.
I like St. Pete Catholic. I think what Jesse Chinchara, I think St. Pete Catholic, they've been knocking on the door to the playoffs, but I think Jesse Chinchara is going to take St. Pete Catholic and get them into the playoffs this year. I think if they're going to be in the playoffs, they were the one team outside their region that was left outside of it last year. So I got to say it's going to be St. Pete Catholic for in my pick as well, and Reno's as well. All right, game number 5 here. As you saw, that St. Petersburg Catholic is a 16-point favorite in the FPRI. Forecast St. Pete Catholic, a 92% chance to win that game. All right, game number 5, Clearwater at Wiregrass Ranch. I really think this game is a total toss-up. Wiregrass Ranch coming off a close loss with Plant. Clearwater coming off a win at Bartow. Gosh, this one's a toss-up, man. I don't know. Wiregrass Ranch, Clearwater, as we pull up the forecast. Clearwater won over Wiregrass Ranch. The win probability, Clearwater 54%, Wiregrass 46%.
Because it's at Wiregrass Ranch, I'm going with the Ranch.
Going with the Ranch. You know what? Reno is going with the Ranch. So, as Mark Cannon says, Reno for the win. I am going with the Ranch as well here for the win. It's going to be a toss-up. It is going to be a true toss-up here as we roll along here. And here comes the other cat for his nightly appearance. So, yes, all are welcome, including fur babies. Yes. So, all right. Our final game, Lakeland at De La Salle, California. And Emery Smith is going Clearwater, and Jonathan Veras is going Clearwater. So everybody's, it's a toss-up game. But here we go. This one, Lakeland at De La Salle. I got to say, before I reveal the forecast here, I kind of alluded to it here. You've probably seen some of the forecast already on FloorHSFootball.com, what's out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with the algorithm, but I
don't agree with it either.
I don't agree with it either, because I think this is going to be a long, long road trip in terms of the flight, in terms of just trying to get all the mess cleaned up that you had a lot of sloppy sitting there that needed to be cleaned up for this game. And
and it's not going to be a pretty picture. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty going out to California.
Yeah. By the way, here's the forecast. Lakeland 3 over De La Salle. Win probability, Lakeland 60%, De La Salle 40%.
Where's the Price is Right one when you need it? Give me De La Salle by 2 touchdowns.
You need the Price is Right horn?
Yes. There you go.
Mark Cannon is not for not with the knots. He's not for the knots. Wait, hold on. Say that fast with a tongue twister. Not for the knots. Emery Smith is going De La Salle. I believe you're going De La Salle. I am going De La Salle. I am sorry, Charles Bell. I have to take De La Salle here. It's not an easy pick for me, but I feel like I was excited to take Lakeland in the game as early as a couple weeks ago. But after seeing what happened against Auburn and the fact that the second string and third stringers couldn't really hold up the lead, especially at 31-0, I still don't understand why take the starters out until y'all had the running clock. I'm just there's a lot of questioning. I don't understand, but this is a long road trip. We're talking. I believe that De La Salle is one of those other teams. Again, the Trinity League that's out there in California. Trinity League is no joke in California. That's why I have to take De La Salle here. It's just one of those tough road games, I think, for the Dreadnoughts. So, and
it's not going to be pretty.
By the way, some of y'all got a friend in Reno in terms of that he is taking Lakeland. So there you go. So Charles Bell says he doesn't understand why Coach did it as well. Well, Mark Cannon is saying Lakeland O-line will be a sieve. Ooh, that's not good. That's not good. All right. Any final thoughts here, Chris, as we wrap this up?
Well, we do have the De La Salle game coming up, and I'm interested to see how some of these teams, like Tampa Bay Tech, end up playing the next couple of weeks.
No, absolutely. By the way, the Lakeland De La Salle game is the Max Preps and NFHS Network Game of the Week, which will be available for free to everybody across the country. So that game, everybody will be able to see that game. And that'll be a 10 p.m. kickoff on Friday night Eastern time because, again, it'll be a 7 o'clock Pacific time. So a late, as they call, instead of Pac-12 after dark, we'll have high school football after dark. But anyways, for Christopher Like, I'm Joshua Wilson. Appreciate y'all joining us here on the Tampa Bay edition of the Blitz and all of our rest of our Blitz shows. Tomorrow night, we have the Central Florida Blitz coming up at 7 o'clock, the Northeast Florida Blitz at 7:45, North Central Florida at 8:30, and then the Panhandle at 9:15 Eastern, 8:15 Central Time. Appreciate everybody. Thanks, Mark. We'll see you tomorrow night. Until then, so long. Have a good night, everybody.